Welcome back to the Crypto Horrors. So, way back in March, we picked up the Anaconda Blu-ray Quadrilogy. I keep trying to call it a trilogy. Quadrilogy from 88Films. And that kicked off a whole thing I did for a while of wanting to see Reptile movies. So, we're calling this the Reptile Rumble because we went nuts on Reptile sci-fi movies. So, let's start with the Anaconda Quadrilogy itself. So this is from 88Films. This is an import. Despite what it says on the box, Region B, it is actually region free. This does play in a North American Xbox and Xbox Series X. So it comes in a really nice case with some pretty sweet art. And despite the corny title for the booklet, this is actually the most fun I've ever had with supplemental essays that came in a Blu-ray. I loved reading this. I really did. Better than anything in, Criterion Collection or Arrow or anything. I just loved this little booklet and the essays in there about reptile horror. They were excellent. So I would recommend this set on that alone. And this is getting a reissue from 88Films, which I believe is also going to be region-free. I think that comes out in a month or two, with an improved case and different art. So it's not... because as much as I like this, this is thin paper, not like a hard box. So the reissue is going to have a hard box and different art, which... I actually paid slightly more for this because it was going out of print, and I kind of wish I'd known there was going to be a reissue, so I could have maybe waited and gotten the improved version, which I don't think has this annoying sticker thing on it that imports get on the covers. I think that's a thing that British titles have to have for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, so it has Anaconda 1 through 4. There's a commentary for each Anaconda movie, the quality of which drops substantially after Anaconda 2. So a lot of love went into this set, actually. I was very surprised that they did extras for Anaconda 3 and 4. Because a lot of times when a series has entries like that, they just kind of slap them on into the set and don't really... they kind of neglect them. But no, they had full commentaries. And apparently the reason why Anaconda 3 and 4 are, well, let's be real here, so terrible, is because they were operating on greatly reduced budgets. So I'm probably remembering the numbers wrong, but the numbers were something along the lines of, I think the second Anaconda had a $30 million budget, and Anaconda 3 had a $1 million budget, so that's why the snake looks so bad in Part 3. So it explained a lot, actually, listening to those commentaries. So I would really recommend this upgraded set if you can wait till October, I think, when it comes out from 88Films. And because we're a completionist, and it didn't include Lake Placid versus Anaconda, so... now, a lot of these weren't on Blu-ray, so I had to settle for DVDs. Right? But we picked up Lake Placid versus Anaconda, which I hadn't seen before, and it's schlocky, and it's not good, but it's better than I thought it would be. I mean, I was entertained. So, I mean, if you've seen Sci-Fi Channel original movies, it's one of those. It does have Robert Englund, so hey... and overall, it's a good time. So I was kind of impressed by how much better it was than I thought it would be just, pain like Anaconda 4 was. But it was fun. And then, of course, I had to finish the Lake Placid series, which, not as good as, well... Lake Placid 3, this was on Blu-ray, but the Blu-ray was something absurd, because it was, I guess, a rarity of some kind. So it was simply easier to just get the DVD. Like, I think the Blu-ray was like 30 and the DVD was like 8. So, this one was kind of forgettable, actually. So I have no review for this. Kind of the same deal with Part 4. This did have Robert Englund, too, in it. So, well, he's the highlight. Just for sake of completion. And this is like Placid Legacy, so this apparently came out a couple of years ago as like a revival kind of thing, and I'm pretty sure it's also a sci-fi original movie, or at the very least it has that quality to it. I'm looking at the back to see if I can see like the sci-fi label or whatever, but this might have been just like straight to video. That's from Sony Pictures. Actually, this was okay, so I was happy with this. So, it didn't seem to exist on Blu-ray, at least that I could find. So, the DVD was very cheap. It was like $6, I think. So, I'd recommend giving this a try. You know, see what you think. I mean, just turn your brain off for a while and just enjoy some crocodile mayhem. Now we might as well finish the DVDs. So, kind of continuing the creature theme. So, Croc was one movie that I actually did not have, because my specialty, my real world specialty is reptiles and amphibians, biology. And so I've been collecting reptile horror movies whenever I can get my hands on them, and I didn't have Croc, so I also didn't remove the tag. This was cheap, so we picked it up. And this is one of those multi-pack things, which I usually hate, but it was actually, I think, cheaper than getting Croc by itself. So this comes with, let's see, what else does this come with? Dire wolf, I guess it's a wolf. Man-eater, it's a tiger. Grizzly rage, bear. Chupacabra versus the Alamo. Alright then. So yeah, these are all sci-fi movies, so, you know, I love a good schlocky monster movie, so the rest of these should be fun, and I have seen Croc, and I like Croc. Croc is okay. Now this is something I remember from kind of my younger days, watching monster movies on Sci-Fi. This is Pterodactyl, and this was actually a little hard to track down. So this is one of the earlier Sci-Fi movie channel, Sci-Fi original movie, like monsters. It has Coolio in it for some reason, if anybody even remembers who he is at this point. And this was just like a solid, like, dinosaur movie. Well, okay, pterodactyls are reptiles, so it still counts. They're not dinosaurs, but I shouldn't have said that. But I like this, and this was actually... If your standard sci-fi movie is a 4, this is more like a 5.5. So I'd give this a try if you like monster movies. And we have another sci-fi movie, Boa, the kind of completely Python 2, Python versus Boa sub-collection that we had going on. So this is a really weird movie that takes place in the Arctic and has a giant snake. Okay. And it's not bad. It's not great, but it's all right. So the snake looks cheap, but you know, what do you expect for a sci-fi movie? So I enjoyed this one. I'm happy to just have it. You know, I don't know how often I'll actually play it, but you know, it's in the archive now for the Reptile collection. And then kind of going back to nostalgia, Curse of the Komodo. I think this was actually the first sci-fi original movie I saw. Back when we first got satellite and had access to the Sci-Fi Channel, all the way back in, oh my god, 2004, I think? Something like that. I guess this is directed by Jim Wynorski, supposedly, of Chopping Mall and Return of Swamp Thing fame. Or at least that's what I've been told. Like, under a pseudonym of J. Andrews. But anyway, this is an okay monster movie. Again, like, have a pizza, have some beers. Oh, you'll have a good time, probably. So it has this weird zombie kind of subplot thing, too, that it does, which works well enough, I guess. That's kind of a spoiler, I suppose, though, but giant Komodo dragons. You know, there aren't a whole lot of movies with killer lizards. So this was kind of a standout. Like, the lizard does look, again, sci-fi movie. Like, it's 2004. These are effects done for probably a few $1,000s on, you know, somebody's PC. They're not good, but you know, try them anyway, especially, again, if you like monster movies. Now, getting back to Blu-rays, we have The Great Alligator River, which I have not seen yet, and so I'm kind of looking forward to that. So I have, somewhere I have like a original image of the movie poster for this, and, you know, me and my friends used to always kind of laugh at in the original, I can't remember exactly which, I think it might have been Portuguese or something, like Portuguese or Spanish, or I'm not sure what the actual language is, but the original poster we saw of this, the tagline, "It's not an animal, it is a demon." In the original language of the poster, it was, "No es animal, es un demonio." And we used to, you know, just jokingly say that phrase, "Es un demonio." And so I've wanted to see this for a long time, and I finally got my hands on it. So, "Es un demonio." And then this very recently came out. I wrote about this in a Reptile horror paper I did a while ago. I almost called it, it's just the Bermuda Depths. I keep trying to call it Up from the Bermuda Depths because of that, you know, tagline on the poster being tied into the title. But this is the Bermuda Depths. It is, I think, the only horror movie with a killer turtle. I'm not counting Gamera. Gamera is a kaiju. And he's not necessarily a killer. But this is a very strange movie. Like, the turtle isn't a monster per se. Like, there's this whole, like, mythology to it. It's very interesting. It's almost like a romance kind of thing. But it is the only horror turtle in the genre, besides like the snapping turtles from Frogs. So I was really stoked that this finally made its way to Blu-ray. I think back in April or March, sometime early this year. This is a pretty recent release, so I do recommend it if you like weirder movies. So yeah, give that a try. Well, that's the end of the Reptile Rumble. Well, I suppose we can throw one more thing on the pile. So there's a series on Animal Planet that aired for a while. They were like found footage kind of short stories that would talk about like cryptid animals and stuff. It was called Lost Tapes, and it is actually very difficult to find Lost Tapes on DVD. You can watch most of the episodes of Lost Tapes just on YouTube. Like, they're very common online and digitally. But the DVDs are pretty pricey, except for Season 3, which, Season 3, right here, is the only one... Season 3 episodes are the only ones you can't find very easily online, for free, whereas Season 1 and 2, you can watch almost all of Season 1 and 2 on YouTube for free. There are multiple uploads, it's everywhere. But the Season 1 and 2 DVDs, if you try to find them used, they're like $100 a piece. Whereas this was like $10, $13 on Amazon for Season 3. But you can't find Season 3 digitally anywhere. Like, nobody's uploaded it or whatever. So I finally wanted to see Season 3, and it was okay. It actually wasn't as good as the first two seasons, which have a very low low budget, like really indie feel. Like a lot of those are actually genuinely frightening, which is strange that something like that would make its way to Animal Planet. Like normally found footage sucks. But whoever was making those was really kicking butt. Like some of the episodes, like the Death Crawler or the Monterey Bay Monster, like they had some really scary shots in them. So I recommend this series, and I'm happy to have it somewhat completed. I do have season 2, which I miraculously found one time, so I'm still looking for season 1. Even though I can, watch it anytime on YouTube, I still, want to collect it because I do enjoy this series a lot. Like I rewatched these because they are very good. Maybe not as much the season 3 episodes, but seasons 1 and 2, I recommend it all the time. So, but yeah, so that includes the Reptile Rumble, and we will be back with more monster movies, I think, in our next video. Or we could go with slashers, or our arrow pickups, or who knows what we're gonna do next. We've got 6 more videos to shoot for you, so stay tuned and see what comes up next.